Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the 8-game NBA main slate on Monday. Before I get into the video, though, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. Guys, I want to thank you again for the continued support. Right now, closing in on 7.7 thousand subscribers. Really crazy to think about. But if you do enjoy this content, if you could leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when to upload videos, you know when to go live. That would be greatly appreciated. And spread the word. If you have friends that play DFS and you enjoy the content, spread the word. If you guys cannot watch these videos, I do upload an Apple Podcast. I have a link down below. If you guys are interested in signing up for premium content, I'll offer that on patreon.com. Offer a couple different packages for NBA, NFL, and CSGO. So if you guys are interested, also link down below. And finally, I want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring the show. Again, if you guys are not familiar with PrizePicks, basically it's a site where you're betting on over-unders for fantasy projections, right? For fantasy points for tomorrow's slate, right? Andre Drummond's projected at 46 fantasy points. So, do you like the under? Do you like the over? For me, kind of like the over, right? Based on what we saw from him minutes-wise last couple games in 37 and 41. But we know the deal with Andre Drummond. He's a guy that is prone to foul trouble, prone to getting benched. So there's always the variance there with Andre Drummond. But yeah, if you guys want to sign up, you can use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. Basically, you get a 100% match up to $100. So if you put $100 in, you get a free $100 to play with $200 total. But yeah, with that all out of the way, let's jump into the video. So before we talk about players and their prices for this 8-game slate, let's look back my lineup here from Sunday. And Sunday, man, it is going to be a low scoring slate. Really low scoring. I'm on the edge in tournaments at 247, and I just got to, man, it was, low scoring and a pretty tilting night. Minnesota, San Antonio. Two teams that play fast. Two teams that play very little defense. Two teams that are both missing their star in Cat and DeRozan. It was, close to a high 220s over under. The game finishes 96-88. So that was pretty cool. Basically, I told you guys I was going full game stack San Antonio, Minnesota, and playing Kevin Durant at the top. Durant was really solid. Again, he was pretty popular, 63% in this $200 tournament. DeJounte Murray was almost 80% owned. He was a bust. He couldn't hit anything. So really, I got the wrong pieces for San Antonio. San Antonio's still a balanced team, so it was really, you wanted Aldridge and Lonnie Walker. Those are the two big scores. I want DeJounte Murray and Keldon Johnson, who both couldn't hit anything. I think they shot combined 5 of 22. So, yeah, a little bit frustrating, right, because I was on the right path here, and the fact that this game is just so low scoring. No one can hit shots. D'Lo, 42 fantasy points, only 13% owned. Not bad. Beasley, 30% owned, 29 fantasy points. I took the shot in Vanderbilt. I knew that was a risk. I used Trey Lyles for value. And then Chris Boucher went off in limited time. And he also fouled out in like 24 minutes. Picked up 3 fouls. He had, I think, 18 fantasy points in 6 minutes in the first half. And picked up 3 fouls. Finished with 37 fantasy points. But yeah, just going to be a really low-scoring night. Steph was pretty popular in this tournament. He was about 40% owned. I think he shot was shooting 1 of 16, something crazy like that. Blowouts, bust. It's going to be a low scoring game. Again, I was just on the edge of tournaments with 247, which is really crazy. What's the winning lineup here? I'm just curious. 296 for a winning lineup. What do you have? SGA, George Hill, Vassell was almost 40% owned. He didn't play much. I pivoted to Trey Lyles once we got that news. So you played Vassell, you got popped. Yeah, he had Kevin Durant. He had Draymond Green. Okay, Draymond Green I did like for value. Lonnie Walker, again, it was him and Aldridge that had the big games. Horford actually had a pretty decent game, and Anthony Davis. So just one of those slates where super low scoring. But yeah, that's it for the look back, guys. So let's take a look at these Vegas odds. And right now we only have 3 games out. Knicks Hornets is a 211 over under. The Hornets are 4.5 point favorites. Raptors and Blazers are 233 over under. The Trailblazers are 4 point favorites. And Pacers Kings a 228 over under. The Pacers are 4 point favorites. So we're going to go team by team in this one just because there's a lot of injuries or a lot of guys out for a couple teams. So I think it'll just be easier to go team by team for this video. So let's start with the Knicks. And the Knicks, it'll be pretty quick. It's Julius Randle for me, who I like in tournaments. He continues to be under-owned. He continues to put up 50-plus fantasy points. Even at 9.6, I really like Julius Randle. This game should stay competitive. Good matchup here. I think he's a really, really good GPP play that people will just avoid again. But Randall's a guy I really do like for tournaments. And that's basically it. Alfred Payton, RJ Barrett. You can take a shot at one of those guys. I don't think it's needed. No thank you to Mitchell Robinson that price. Austin Rivers was almost 20% owned on this slate. And I think he finished with like 5 fancy points. So, yeah, not going to be chasing Austin Rivers. Now, I just want to mention the after the fact people they always make me laugh. Some guy on my live stream made a comment today after the Oklahoma City game, and it was like, just what did he say exactly? Hold on, I got to bring it up. He said, "Fool's gold Diallo, laughed my ass off. 43 fancy points at 4,200. Not a chance at all." Sure, easy to say after the fact, man. He also shot like 90% from the field. So those people just always crack me up. But yeah, back to the point. Yeah, Austin Rivers, people chased it. And he completely busted. Sure, it worked out for the people that chased Diallo, but I'll continue to fade. He's not going to continue to shoot 90%. So that's a different story for another day. But it's always funny, those people after the fact that come in and, are all on their high horse. Like, did you have that take before? Like, did you? But yeah, that's it for the Knicks. Really, it's Randall for me, and that's it. Let's move on to Charlotte. So Charlotte, LaMelo Ball at 7K. I mean, I think he's firmly in play here. Now, the issue I have is I never like paying premiums for guys, but it's hard to ignore what he's doing right now. Triple-double, 61 fancy points the last game in only 31 minutes. Minutes have been a little bit up and down, so there is that risk. If I knew LaMelo Ball was going to play over 30 minutes tonight, I would probably play him. So there's still some variance here. Like if he only plays 24 minutes, right? That one game against Atlanta, 26 minutes, right? So, and the price is going up, but you got to like the upside here in GPPs if things go right for LaMelo Ball. Don't hate, buying kind of low on Devontae Graham. He continues to struggle from the field, but has put up 38, 37, and then 28 fancy points last 3 games. Again, I think he's an okay option. Right now, the upside play, though, is LaMelo Ball. PJ Washington's been very up and down, but a good GPP play. Minutes fluctuating as well, 27, then 38, then 28, then 36. So, again, hard to feel comfortable with some of these Charlotte guys in cash games for GPPs. Yeah, you can go to PJ Washington. Again, he did have 6 blocks last game. That's probably not going to happen again. And then, yeah, that's really it for Charlotte for me. So mainly just GPP plays, again, with like LaMelo, PJ Washington, maybe buy low on Devontae Graham. I mean, Gordon Hayward at 7.9. Again, GPP play, right? Look at the last four games. 35, then 61, then 43, then 20. So literally like all these like Hornets guys are just GPP plays for me. No one I trust in cash. Let's move on to Memphis. So Memphis, I have interest in no one. That's pretty easy. The one guy maybe I would play would be DeAnthony Melton at 3.8. And the reason I say this is because the minutes. Well, Jonas Valanciunas, he got pulled at halftime because of COVID, but he's back. Like the main guys, Kyle Anderson, 28, 26 minutes in close games. Dylan Brooks, 29, 28. The minutes are just not there in these guys. So I would rather, if I'm going to take a shot on someone, it might be a guy like a value play like DeAnthony Melton. Brandon Clark has played the most. He played 33 minutes at last game. Did go for 45. Again, probably not going to get that again, but those would be the 2 guys I guess I would consider here from Memphis. On the Cleveland side, so it worries me. It really worries me, but Drummond has come through for me the last couple slates here. I played him there against Memphis, played him against Milwaukee, 63 fancy points. The minutes are going up, 37 and 41. If Sexton continues to be out, Drummond's got to be the guy that's going to keep this game close. I mean, him, Dotson, Osman, I know had a terrible game last game for me. Could have been a big night for me the other night if Osman had a decent game. But Drummond, yeah, he's a good GPP play. Now, just be warned. There's still a chance. He's gotten benched twice already this year, and he is a guy prone to foul trouble. So those are 2 risks that, can you trust Drummond in cash? I don't know if I trust him in cash. For GPPs, though, yeah, I like his upside a lot. Again, minutes going up to 37 and 41. So Drummond, I like a good amount there for GPPs. Got to monitor the news with Colin Sexton. If he continues to be out, then we can look to Dotson and Osman. Now, I know Osman was absolutely terrible, only 16 fancy points. He will run the point a decent amount, just play terrible. If you want to save some money, go Dotson, I get it. He played really well that last game, 40 fancy points. So these are 2 guys that would be in play if Colin Sexton is out. The rest of the guys, if you think Drummond gets in foul trouble, you can take a shot on JaVale McGee. Right now, he's playing about 17 minutes a game. And at 3.8, like, I don't think it's the worst value play, and like for a GPP, right? Because if Drummond picks up those fouls, JaVale McGee will smash, right? 25 minutes, 36 fancy points, 19, like when he gets minutes, he is really good. So you can take a shot on McGee and hope for Drummond foul trouble. Okoro is just such a low usage guy. I don't want to go there. So that's it for Cleveland. Let's move on to Milwaukee. So Giannis Antetokounmpo looking like he's going to play at 11K. I think he's definitely viable at the top. It's just a matter of are we comfortable with enough of the value plays on the slate? I think there's definitely some value, which we'll get to in like Philly and Dallas possibly. Again, dependent on if Porzingis plays or not. But yeah, Giannis at the top is always in play. Middleton and Drew got the price bump after their pretty solid games. No Giannis. I'll probably pass there. You guys know I'm a big Bobby Portis fan. He went off when Giannis was out. With Giannis in, I think he only plays like mid-20s minutes. Price is still coming up, so more of a GPP play for me. Than the value is just, I don't want to go there in Milwaukee. On the Orlando side, Vucevic is always just underowned. I always mention it, but he is just a really consistent, safe play every single slate. That Houston game when it blew out in 30 minutes had 46 fantasy points. That Dallas game in 33 minutes had 58 fantasy points. Like when the games stay competitive, most of the time he's going to come through for you. And he's still below 9K. So I think like in tournaments, you can definitely run like a Giannis Vooch stack and then kind of go value from there. Vucevic, again, he just will continue to go underowned. Aaron Gordon actually is in play. And the reason he is, the minutes restriction got lifted. Played 36 minutes at last game. So yeah, you can go to Aaron Gordon. Price is up. Don't love the play, but he's more viable now with those with the minutes restriction lifted. Cole Anthony at 5'6". I just did play 32 minutes last game, but really he's kind of been struggling. So 5'6", I think he's fine, but I'm probably not going to go there. And that's really it for me on the Orlando side. Let's move on to Phoenix and Washington. So Phoenix is a team, like this year, I've had like very little interest in Phoenix. Booker just, rarely has a ceiling game. I did go for 43, but he's gone for 40 like twice this season. He's at 8K. I do like the matchup. So, like, yeah, you could run like a Booker-Beal pair in GPPs, but I don't know if I'm like, I think I prefer some other plays. DeAndre Ayton at 7'3", has played 37 and 34 minutes in back-to-back games. They stay out of foul trouble. The games are close. I do like the matchup here, so I think you could make the argument for DeAndre Ayton here at 7'3". I think he will be pretty low owned. Chris Paul at 7'2", seems about right. The wings, you guys know how I feel. Just too many wings. I just don't really have interest in those guys. So let's move on to Washington. Washington, we have no Russell Westbrook. So Brad Beal at the top at 9.9, firmly in play here in GPPs. We're not getting a discount on him, but he's going to be the offense. He's going to play some big minutes. So yeah, Brad Beal firmly in play here at this price. I think he's a nice spend up. Again, no Westbrook, no Thomas Bryant. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the starting line. But if they start Robin Lopez, I think he's okay, but doesn't have a ton of upside. For me, I think I'd rather take the shot on Mo Wagner off the bench. He's a better point per minute guy. So like, yeah, if they start Robin Lopez, I think Mo Wagner makes for a pretty interesting GPP play. Again, good point per minute guy, good shooter. So Wagner intrigues me for GPPs. As far as the other plays, there's just too many guys, right? We saw it with that game last game for Washington when they had Westbrook and Beal out. They ran like 11, 12 man rotation. Like no one played more than 25 minutes. So hard for me to feel comfortable with these guys. Like Neto probably starts at point, but again, they have Ish Smith. They have other guys they can use. They just have a bunch of guys on the bench. They'll probably everyone get like 20-ish minutes besides like Brad Beal. So really the value guys are just, I don't have interest there on Washington. Let's move on to Philly. So this is where the value is with Philadelphia. No Ben Simmons, no Tobias Harris, no Seth Curry, no Shake Milton, no Korkmaz, no Thibault. Mike Scott maybe not play. Poirier, Ferguson out. So they're really, really thin. Like might have like a 8-9-man rotation. Joel Embiid at 9.8. Looking like he's going to be good to go. If he's available with all these guys out against Atlanta, I think Embiid is one of the top spend ups of the slate. Now he's going to be popular, but hard not to like Embiid basically playing with, a bunch of value guys in a great matchup. So I do like Embiid a good amount here at the top. I think he is one of the better plays at the very top. Now another guy that really stands out to me, probably my favorite play on the slate, Tyrese Maxey. This guy is legit. He should be getting more minutes for the 76ers rotation when everyone comes back. This guy's a good player. I'm not even just talking that last game where he went off. He is talented. From what I've seen, this guy is legit. 4'7". I assume he starts at point guard. I assume he plays huge minutes because they're thin. He is my favorite value play in the slate right now, 4.7. Love Maxey. And then the value play. So Danny Green. Don't love Danny Green, but he's probably going to have to play huge minutes. He's viable. Isaiah Joe. Dakota Mathias. He's a good shooter. Paul Reed. Like, these guys are all in play just because they're so thin, right? So if Embiid plays, we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, and then Mike Scott, maybe 9, but he sat out the last game. And really, we have 3 centers in Tony Bradley, Dwight Howard, and Joel Embiid. So I don't think they're going to play like Joel Embiid alongside Dwight. I mean, maybe they could, but realistically, it's going to be like Maxey and Embiid, and then, you know, these like wings with like Danny Green, Isaiah Joe, Mathias, and Paul Reed. I have interest in all of them. I definitely think these are some of the better value plays in the slate just because they're going to all have to play huge minutes. So I have interest in all of them, to be honest. Again, my favorite is definitely Maxey. Obviously Embiid at the top, but Green certainly in play. Again, he's the most like well-known player of this group. But these like guys at the end of the bench, like Joe, Mathias, Paul Reed, they're all in play here. If we move on to Atlanta, not a ton of interest that I have in Atlanta, to be honest. Like Trae Young continues to struggle, 2 of 9, then 5 of 19. You can try to buy low on him, but I'm probably not going to do it. Collins and Capella hurting each other's upside. Hunter is priced up. I think he's just a secondary play for me. And then there's just not a ton I like here. I mean, Bogdan is out. Probably a couple more minutes for guys like Reddish and Herter. Herter probable. You can make the argument for Herter, but again, 5.5, you're kind of paying a premium for him. So there's not a ton that stands out to me on the Atlanta side. Let's move on to New Orleans. So New Orleans against Dallas here, we have Ingram and Zion, 8-6 for Ingram, 7-8 for Zion. I think they're both solid plays. Again, both these guys are playing big minutes in competitive games. 40, 36, and 36 for Ingram. He's been really consistent. He's stuffing the stat sheet too. Zion also playing big minutes. Not as much as Ingram, but 35, 32, 34. Both these guys I think are solid plays, not priorities for me. Steven Adams, we got to monitor this news. He's questionable. If he misses, we could get some value here in guys like whoever starts with Jackson Hayes or maybe Willie Hernan-Gomez. Both are decent point per minute guys, and if one of those guys starts, yeah, I have interest in them for value for sure. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I mean, maybe they could go small ball Zion at the 5, then maybe move like someone else in the starting lineup. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Lonzo and Bledsoe are just secondary plays for me. Josh Hart's a little too pricey. JJ Redick at 3.2. I mean, you can take a shot at him, but the minutes are just not great for him. NAW is actually getting some decent run even in close games, but still not enough for me to be willing to take a shot at him at 3.1K. So really, again, Hayes, Hernan-Gomez, got to keep an eye on them if Steven Adams is in fact out. Let's move on to Dallas. So Dallas, another team that's really thin. Kleber, I believe, is already ruled out, or he's questionable. I thought he was already ruled out. He tested positive, but there's some uncertainty surrounding the test. Okay, so I thought he tested positive. Like, wait, how is he questionable? So we'll have to keep an eye on that. He's questionable. Porzingis might play for the first time, but I don't think he'd play a ton. We have Jay Rich out, Dorian Finney-Smith out, Brunson out. So really, Luka, if Porzingis and Kleber are both out, Luka at the top at 11-3, I think is just going to be a safe play, right? Did not shoot the ball well last game, still put up 57 fantasy points. So Luka is just a very safe play, assuming both Porzingis and Kleber are out. If they're both out, Hardaway got priced up into the big shooting game. Feels like chasing, and you can go there, but he's kind of reliant on the scoring. Trey Burke also had a really good shooting game. Shot the ball 11 of 13. Only played 21 minutes, and that was what I was worried about. I was worried about Trey Burke only playing 15 to 20 minutes off the bench. Luckily, it paid off for me. I got lucky here with both Burke and Hardaway that last slate. Burke shot 11 of 13. Hardaway couldn't miss, so I did get lucky. I don't think I want to go back there at 4 or 5. Cauley-Stein at 4-4 if he continues to start. I think he's an okay value play. 24, 26, and 23 minutes the last 3 games. James Johnson, if Porzingis and Maxi Kleber out, he played 26 minutes. He could be a possible value play here. So we'll just have to keep an eye on the news there for Dallas. But let's finish it up here with the last 2 games. Toronto, Portland. So Toronto, I like the matchup for these guys. They're all solid plays, but no one really stands out at their respective prices. Van Fleet, Lowry, Siakam, I think are all good plays. Again, up-tempo game here. So I'm perfectly fine if you land on one of those guys for cash games. Boucher still intrigues me at 6K. Again, he picked up 3 quick fouls in the first quarter, fouled out, was on pace to play more minutes. So I think he's a guy that is always in play for GPPs just because he's such a good point per minute guy. He had, 37 or 38 for me in 24 minutes. So always like Boucher in GPPs. The rest of the plays are stayaways. OG, Powell, I just don't want to go there. So, yeah, really, the top 3 guys look pretty solid in Boucher in GPPs. Let's move on to Portland. So you guys know I'm going right back to Yusuf Nurkic. Love the spot for him. Whether they start an undersized Pascal Siakam or they try to start Boucher, either way, yeah, sure, Boucher's a good shot blocker, not the best defender. Nurkic should be able to eat. Was on pace to crush in back-to-back games, and we had back-to-back blowouts. So, yeah, he had 30 and 3/4, 34 and 3/4. The price didn't really move for him. I like him once again here. As long as he stays out of foul trouble and the game stays competitive, he will push for 30 minutes. He's a good point per minute guy. He's starting to get it going. I really like Yusuf Nurkic once again, and I know he will continue to be low owned. Lillard, McCollum at 9-7 and 8-8 respectively. I think both are firmly in play. Lillard's been a little bit up and down, so more of a GPP play. CJ at 8-8, it's been pretty solid, really. Like CJ McCollum's having a really good year. I think I might prefer CJ to Lillard for the discount, but both those guys are definitely viable. The wings are just stayaways, and there's too many wings when they're all healthy. Cantor is always a viable GPP play, should play anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. But 5-1, it's not really like you're grading him at a discount. And let's finish up with the Pacers and the Kings. So, I'm licking my chops here to play Domantas Sabonis against this Sacramento front court. 9.3K for Sabonis. My worry is he just had the big game, right? He just won for 61 fancy points, so I feel like he's going to be higher owned, but I love the spot from him. This Sacramento team can't defend anyone. Bagley, terrible defender. Rashawn Holmes, not a good defender. Whiteside's not a good defender. So whoever they try to throw on him, he should be able to feast. I really like Sabonis. I think he's a safe play in a good matchup. So he's one of my favorite plays here at the top. Also really like Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, him and Sabonis, they're just the minutes. Playing basically 40 minutes a game. Assist, rebound the ball, scoring the ball. I like Brogdon a good amount. I like Sabonis a good amount. I think Oladipo firmly in play below 7K. He continues to put up a ton of shot attempts, not really shooting great, but I think he's still a solid option too at that price and a really good matchup. So the top three guys look pretty good for me. Value-wise, like Justin Holiday is getting some decent run, but at 4.9, it just seems priced about right. And then, yeah, with no McConnell, Aaron Holiday, how many minutes did he play last game? He played 25. Still, it's just like, don't love it. McDermott, I mean, you can take a shot at him, but he's very, very scoring dependent. So really, it's like the top two guys that I really like in Sabonis and Brogdon. Like Oladipo, definitely viable. Holiday's a secondary option, not really a priority for me. And let's finish it up with Sacramento. So Sacramento, got to keep an eye on news here. So Buddy Hield, questionable. Rashawn Holmes, questionable. And Fox was limited in back-to-back games. Same with Halliburton. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it. If Buddy Hield is out, I would think Halliburton starts. If he does start at 6.2K, I think he makes for a pretty decent play in the mid-range. A guy that's stuff in the stat sheet, playing pretty well, too. De'Aaron Fox at the top, if there's no minutes restriction, I think that's a decent play, not a priority for me. Harrison Barnes is 6.5, has actually been pretty consistent this year. Don't mind him. And then, yeah, Holmes, this is pretty big news. He is questionable. He was scratched at last game. If he is out, Whiteside for value, I like a good amount at 4.2. Played 24 minutes. He's a really good point per guy. Had 28 fancy points. So Whiteside would become a really solid value play. Bagley at 5.7. We'll see what they do with the starting lineup if, in fact, Holmes is out. Last time when Holmes is out, they moved Bagley to the 5. So we'll just have to see. Obviously, yeah, monitor Buddy Hield's status news, or Buddy Hield's health as well. If Buddy Hield and Rashawn Holmes are out, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with starting lineup. But then that would make a guy like Corey Joseph a little bit more viable. He would probably get some more minutes off the bench. But yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on those two pieces of news there for Sacramento. But I think that's going to do it for the video today, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you know when I go live. As always, I'll be doing a YouTube live stream to go over everything. So make sure to check out the live stream tomorrow, guys. Thanks again. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow.